Hello and welcome to my channel, AB Make It Artwork, where we do what we do to make that artwork for you. So today I'm playing around on my iPad, doing a sketch with Procreate. I was bored, and I decided to sketch out Geralt, I think it's Geralt, from Witcher 3. And I'm not going with the way he actually looks on the covers. I just drew him in a way that my husband and I had stylized ours for the game. And I did it because I was bored, I didn't know what else to do, and my husband has been making me play Witcher 3. And it's interesting, it's fun. I don't actually get to do any of the gameplay fighting. My husband makes me play by making all of the decisions during conversations that are important. And it's very interesting. Sometimes I don't know what to expect from the response with the options I'm given. So there've been a couple of times where I've had to second guess myself, and my husband sometimes or he baits me into these decisions, or makes a comment that makes me go, well, should I choose this? Is this gonna make bad things happen? Like in one instance, I told some guards that I don't think you need to know where I'm going. I dropped an F-bomb and everyone got angry and we had to kill a bunch of soldiers, and it's like, darn it, I didn't want that to happen. But I guess a little bit on my process. For the longest time I couldn't figure out how to fix the face because I knew his face wasn't so round, and then eventually I used the select tool to kind of make his face longer without having to edit the lines that I had already put down, because sometimes it gets frustrating. And that's a great thing about apps and digital work. You can just select what things don't look right and then just smush them or widen them and just toy with your line work to make it look right. And I don't feel like I did too bad. I probably could have done better. I could have taken more time with it, but I don't know. I liked where it was at. Right now, I'm using the gouache brush in Procreate. A lot of this was done with the gouache brush and the technical pencil brush, because I have a very sketchy way of drawing, and I kind of like the texture of the gouache brush, how it feels more like a painting. And I like the way it creates shapes and shadows and layers. And I just find it very, I don't know. I don't know how to put it. It's a very painterly touch and way of going about it that I very much enjoy. Kind of like actual painting, but I don't have to sit in the chemical fumes or wait for hours for the paint to dry. I think I'm going back in with a pencil. Now there might have been a couple instances where I used the 6B brush because it's a darker pencil. And I think at one point I drew the eyes and I found that it was really annoying to just try to draw over the eye sketch that I had. So I just took one eye, copied it, and pasted it over to the other side. I think I had to correct it because I thought, like, that looks a little wonky. But I think that was like at a later time. There were a couple of features that I just had to like pick up, move a little bit to correct where it's at. And overall, this was pretty fun piece. Witcher. Witcher is fun. It's fun, the different decisions you get to make and the way you interact with other characters. And I don't know. My husband thinks I make some interesting decisions throughout the game, and that's really fun. And we both kind of play off of each other. We're not very far into it. He's told me that even in speedruns it takes 3 days, so this This will probably be something we do over a couple of weeks. He really enjoys playing the game. I don't care much for being a backseat gamer and having to make the decisions, but it makes him happy. It's interesting where the story goes. Oh, I'm playing with his hair again because I realized I was making his hair too straight and that his hair actually tended to curl with how we had it cut at this time with our gameplay. I forget which style it is, but it's just cut short like this and it has a tendency to curl and wave, which is interesting because my hair will do that too. I think I was taking a second to make sure that the stubble looked good. Yay. Adding shadows to the face. Which again, gouache brush. So much fun. So fun. Almost feels like gouache, though I don't know what that feels like to paint with gouache. So maybe not. Back to Witcher. We really play off of each other, and I guess I give him a new perspective on the game. For instance, there's a part where you have this spy acquaintance that you had to help find his treasure because one of your friends, Dandelion, though you don't tell him Dandelion took it. And you try to help him, and if you go through like the wrong language sequence, you can still tell the spy about his treasure, but you have to contact another spy about where to find Dandelion. And he makes a comment that he knows where to go because he watches the flight patterns of birds. And my husband thought that the character was just being exceptionally sarcastic. And I was like, no, that makes sense for a spy to be aware and watch for birds. Because if you were a spy, probably back in olden times, he used to communicate via the method of messenger birds. And messenger birds could have been any kind of birds, probably pigeons, sometimes hawks, falcons, what to remind you. And you may see a bird that isn't normally native to that area flying to a building or something that doesn't seem very, like, normal people wouldn't notice it, but if you were a spy, you would notice that bird is consistently flying back and forth to a building, possibly with messages to another spy on what missions they have to carry out. If you're wondering how I color this, I go over most spots with color. When it came to the skin, then some layers of multiply, sometimes lighten. But yeah, thanks for watching, and make sure to do what you do to make that artwork for you.